Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. I am your humble French tarot reader and the Goblin Marine, and today we are going to be looking at new tarot and oracle decks that have joined my tarot shelves. To be completely honest, I had not planned on filming a tarot haul today, but I woke up in a lot of pain due to chronic illness. I am suffering, I am exhausted, and I have about 2 brain cells left, so I just want to look at pretty cards. I hope you won't hold it against me. I actually have quite a few decks to share with you guys. I have a couple of Kickstarters that I backed last year that have made their way to me. I've got a couple of decks that were sent to me for review, which are super unique and that I think you guys will really enjoy. And finally, I have put a little order to Salon des Arcanes, which is an indie tarot shop based in Europe. So there's definitely a good mix of tarot and oracle decks to share with you guys. The world feels like a trash can on fire. My body feels like a trash can on fire. So the only thing that's keeping me going right now, feeding my passion for tarot and oracle decks. Yay, capitalism. For usual, I'm going to be putting all the names of the decks in the description box. If I have spoons, I'll also put links where you can get this. Down there, you'll find the link to my second channel, the Waves of Your Soul readings. That's where I actually use all these decks, put them to good use. That's where I read the cards for you guys. I post pick-up pile readings, monthly guidance. So I would love it if you guys consider joining me over there as well. And just wanted to say thank you for everyone who has already subscribed to my second channel. I love reading the cards for you guys, and it's been really wonderful to be able to gather in this sacred space together. I hope everyone is doing good. At the time of me filming, we have just entered Pisces season, Mercury retrograde, eclipse season. I feel like that meme, the house is on fire and we're just sitting on the middle like, this is fine. So I hope you're taking good care of yourself. We're just gonna get straight in. I want to start with Kickstarter. Like I said, I received 3 Kickstarter decks I had backed last year that finally made their way to me. And the first one I'm pretty sure a lot of you will have received as well, as it was a very popular campaign. And it is My Friend Fire Oracle deck by Mary in the Sky. Mary is the creator of the Gentle Tarot, which is one of my favorite tarot decks ever. She released this Kickstarter last year. I think the plan is eventually to have an oracle deck, each of the elements like fire, water, air, and earth, which if that's the case, I think it's wonderful. And as the name suggests, the first one that she has released has been the fire one. So this I backed on Kickstarter because I love everything that Mary does. So as soon as I found that she was creating a new deck, I was like, please take my money. But I'm pretty sure this is now available for purchase through her website and through any places that stock Mary's work. I think my friend Cassandra from A Riffle in Time, she has a shop in the US and she stocks all of Mary's decks, so I'm sure you'll be able to find it over there. I got the linen one because my version of the Gentle Tarot that I have is the linen edition, so I just thought they would match better, but they all looked wonderful, to be honest. Here are the backs. The sides are in this beautiful burnt gold kind of color. Wonderful guidebook, full color. The writing, as with all of Mary's decks, it's always very healing, empowering. Mary is an indigenous creator, so that it definitely translates into everything she does. It's very heavily focused on nature, on respecting all beings, spirit, source, on decolonizing our tarot practice. And I just think this is medicine for everything that's going on in the world right now. I've only pulled a couple of cards from this one, so I've not worked intensively with it yet, purely because, like I said, at the time of me filming, we are just entering Pisces season, so it doesn't feel quite right yet to work with this, but I'm definitely gonna be using this as soon as we are entering Aries season, as I am an Aries sun myself, and or I can see myself actually using this for the rest of the year heavily, as there's gonna be, and we are already entering a lot of Aries placement in the planets. You know, Saturn is in Aries, Neptune is in Aries. There's a lot of fire happening in the sky in the year 2026 and onwards, and obviously you can tell from watching what's going on in the collective. That sacred fire and sacred rage is something that we are all going to be asked to tap into. And I feel like this deck is really going to help do exactly that. Is fire has a bad rep. I mean, you know, as someone who has, I've got a lot of fire on in my charts. I'm a Leo rising, I'm an Aries sun. I've got a lot of fire placements in my chart. And fire signs have a bad rep of being impulsive, quick-tempered. But considering everything going on right now, I think we collectively are going to be invited to tap into the sacredness of fire in the sense of sacred rage, sacred anger. How can we use fire for creation? How can we use our anger for change to push us towards fighting for what we believe, what we want to stand for? There's really going to be a focus on that in the next few years. And this deck being focused on the fire spirit, the fire element, truly is gonna be perfect for that. How beautiful. I mean, come on, Mary's art style is always stunning. Her keywords are beautiful, her text is beautiful. I just adore everything she does, and I will continue to support all of her decks. They're really wonderful. So I feel like a lot of you will have backed this one. I am so excited to work with it intensively later in the month of March. Like I said, I feel like it's gonna be perfect for Aries season for me. I just adore what she does. And let me know, you guys, if you've been using this one, those of you who backed it, what are your thoughts? Have you enjoyed working with it? Look at this. Oh my god, I love others are gems of the world. I would die for them. So the fact that we have another card makes me so happy. Let's continue with Kickstarter decks. Another campaign I backed last year where the deck made its way to me recently is the Trail of Mind tarot. This you can now find on places like Vermilion Collection, Tevada, I think maybe Etsy, you know, websites that usually sell Chinese created decks, as I'm pretty sure this is Chinese created. Like I said, I packed mine on Kickstarter. The box is really cool. It opens like this. And the reason why I backed this is because I found the art style at the time really interesting and engaging. You're gonna see it gives a little bit like pixel vibe, but really set in modern day-to-day life. We have two extra cards, the glaring card and one that says someone should surely taste happiness, all for the sake of your being. This was created by Chloe, that's the name of the creator. The guidebook is fully in Chinese, but you can scan the back here and get a guidebook PDF version, which is actually really great. I encourage you to do so if you guys have this deck. I have really enjoyed reading the guidebook. Gives you some indication as to the choices made by the artist, and I found it really helpful to connect with the deck. So, like I said, this is a really modern deck with very interesting choices in terms of depictions, and the art style really focuses on this kind of like pixel vibe, a little bit like old Game Boy games, which I adore. The sides are matte, beautiful green edges. Here are the backs, by the way, fully reversible. I think they're meant to be butterfly wings, right? That's what I see. Let me know if you see anything else. And I've actually been using this deck for myself for like day-to-day readings, so I can give you a mini review. It's really colorful. First up, it's really beautiful. Most of the deck feels like it is taking a screenshot of day-to-day elements, modern elements. Whilst not all of the choices made sense originally to me, once I read the guidebook, I was like, oh, okay, I see what you did there. So it feels very rooted in modern day life, which I appreciate. But as you can see, the art style gives a little bit like old style video game, a little bit like Game Boy nostalgia. It's still very clear to see though, so I think it's not blurry or anything. A really gorgeous art style, really interesting choices in terms of color palette and choices of the scenes. So for the Empress, for example, we have a tree. I think that makes a lot of sense. The Ten of Swords at first made me pause. I was like, what the heck? But when you read the guidebook, it's like literally representing, you know, someone who was called back to the earth. But then the fact that you have the lantern here with a flame, and the fact that you have those what are those snowdrops? I think they are still sign of hope. So it's like, whilst this might feel like the end, it might not be truly the end of the past. So interesting version of the Ten of Swords, not something we typically see. For the Sun, we have a little bird coming out of its shell, really cute. It's sweet. It's like an atelier, right, with like a seamstress. The Ace of Swords is a pen. I like that. The Tower I find not very threatening, which is great. I think I could use this deck for reading for a lot of people, to be honest, because there's not really any kind of like triggering imagery, right? It feels quite gentle in energy. The Seven of Swords, we see a student cheating. I really like this version of the Seven of Swords because it feels very rooted in day-to-day and it gets the point across. And I've never seen a Seven of Swords like that. The Ten of Cups, we have Ferris wheel. Let's have a look at a few more. Queen of Swords, a typewriter. In case I didn't mention, there's not really any humans really in this deck. I don't think. There might be like silhouettes, but we don't really see people. And I'm sick of people right now. With everything going on in the world, I kind of am in a phase where I don't really want to see too many people on my decks. I need a little bit of a break from humanity. So a deck like this that focuses on objects, scenes, day-to-day scenes, animals, nature is perfect for where I'm at the moment. The Star is like a kid's room. I think it's wonderful, really sweet star card. Actually, I really love that. Again, the King of Swords. We see the desk, right? We see the businessman, but we don't see the person. So you can really like visualize anyone you want here, which is great. There are a few like human figures, someone trying to hold you back. Super smart. Honestly, this deck is really clever. I've been having a great time reading with this recently. Look at this Five of Cups. That's one of the very few humans there are in this deck, and it's too sad. Poor little sweetie. She's having a hard time. I can't. Yeah. It's a really interesting deck. One that I've been using for day-to-day reading. One that I was saying like I would feel very comfortable reading for anyone because it doesn't feel threatening or anything. And I'm actually going to be using it on my second channel for you guys very soon. I don't know if you guys had seen this one. Like I said, I backed it on Kickstarter, but I'm sure you can get it now on websites like Vermillon Collection, Etsy, things like that. It's really cool. The size, I don't know if I mentioned, it's smaller than tarot size. Let's see if I compare it to another deck I'll share in a bit. It is a little bit wider, right? But it's shorter. So that's something to note. In the cardstock, if I didn't say, it's linen. And last one I wanted to share, another really smart card I thought was a Six of Pentacles. What a cool modern way to depict the idea of like sharing energy. I think it's really clever. The last tarot deck I got from Kickstarter is called the Starlit Gleamings Tarot. This is actually the only one out of this whole that I'm feeling a little bit hesitant about. I haven't quite connected with it yet. So this is what the box look like. I have the Homeward edition. This again this is distributed by Vermillon Collection, and usually they do decks that come in lots of different formats. Like you can get a pocket version, a standard version, a deluxe version. So it kind of depends on what you guys prefer. The box come in two-piece box. We have a transparent piece of plastic, which seemed like a good idea, but when you're a messy bitch like me, is kind of taking all of the like, like fingerprints and dust and whatever. On paper it's cute, but in reality not the most practical, I don't think. We do have a guidebook, and we had a couple of extra cards. We had the Chrysalis card, we had the whatever that is, I'm not even going to say it because I'm going to butcher that. And we have the peace card, really cute. It comes with a chunky guidebook, which again is mostly in Chinese and is full color. We do have right at the back very few text for the English version. As you can see, it's like this is the Chinese version, and this is the English version. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna be using Google Translate to translate this, because I feel like there's so much there that I need to read, especially as this art style you're gonna see, it feels quite unique and different to stereotypical tarot. It really doesn't follow, or at least to me, doesn't seem to follow traditional system too much. So I need to translate this so I can get to know the deck better. But I've not really worked with this deck much. I've been using the Trail of Mine a lot more consistently, so this one I still need to like work with and find out if we bond. Here are the backs on my version, really sweet. I love the purples, and we have gorgeous matte purple edging. I have discovered, you guys, that these are my favorite kind of edging, the matte colored one. They just last the best over time, and they still feel like it feels finished to have edges, but matte ones, it will be the most sturdy when you like to actually use your decks. It won't flake off, at least in my experience. It's not linen, it's matte, but it feels flexible like a linen. So I don't know what's that about, but it doesn't have the texture of linen, but it is very flexible, and I could definitely shuffle it if I wanted to. So I like the cardstock actually. It's nice. Fantasy world, I would say. I really like the court cards in this one. You're gonna see we have a lot of these little like light beings, but this deck truly is a world of its own, and this is why I need to read the guidebook, because I feel like right now I've only done like a couple of readings with this one. Like I've done an interview spread and something else, just pulling a couple of cards. And whilst the art style is absolutely stunning, it is quite different to your stereotypical tarot, right? It definitely doesn't follow too closely tradition, which is not an issue for me at all, but because there are such unique, interesting kind of choices in terms of the art style, I really need to read the guidebook to kind of understand the choices being made and kind of understand the vision behind the deck. To be completely honest, when I backed this one, I must have seen a couple of images and thought this is cute and not really like search for anything more. Sometimes sometimes I do my full research and I'm like, yeah, I really read all of the campaign and everything like that. But sometimes I just see a couple of images and I'm like, oh yeah, that's so cute. I kind of want that in my life. I think that's what happened with this one. So I didn't really read too much into it. And as you can see, it feels like this is quite immersive and it's a whole world and there's a whole story behind it. So I really need to read the guidebook to fully like understand the vision. That being said, the art style is beautiful, and I really appreciate that we have a lot of information on each of the card. Like we have astrological signs, we have the Kabbalah tree. On all of the majors, we have also the elements. Sometimes we have Hebrew letters. So there's a lot of research that was put behind it. Whilst it looks very cute and very sweet, it's actually full of esoteric symbolism, right? You have, like I said, on all of the majors, you have the Kabbalah, like the Sephiroth and all of that. So wonderful attention to detail for those of you who like to rely on that. Particularly the court cards are my favorite. The people feel very full of like a personality and obviously beautiful art style. The Wheel of Fortune, for example, is so interesting, right? We have all of these beings and an eye. We have Jupiter, Tree of Life. There's just a lot to get into, and so I feel like this is one that's gonna almost require a little bit of deck study, right? Again, we have all those beings in most of the cards, this little like light sprite. I think it's quite interesting the way the minors are set up, in the sense of, obviously for the majors we have the full name of that major, but for the minors we have only like the element and then a little bit of a design. So here, for example, would be the 5 of Wands, have again a sword design, and for the cups you have what looks like a cup. So 6 of Wands here, beautiful. The color choices are quite striking, I think. There's a lot of blue, some really stunning card. Like this is one of my favorite, the 5 of Swords. Ace of Wands is stunning. Honestly, really gorgeous art style. I love the fact that we have all of the astrological elements here. We have the fire element. I haven't, like I said, really bonded with it yet. Like I told you guys, purely because I feel like I need to spend time with it, translate the guidebook, understand the stories behind the cards, as I feel like there's quite a lot of stories being told here. But now I'm re-looking at it with you guys. I'm actually glad I backed this. I think this is actually going to be very interesting to dive deep into. And let me know if you guys have seen this one, if you've backed it on Kickstarter, if you are interested or not. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. There's a lot of statues as well in this deck, which is interesting. So yeah, that is the Starlit Gleamings tarot. I forgot to say we could choose between two empresses. I don't know where I've put mine, the other one, but that's the one I chose. I really love it. Let's move on to a couple of decks that were sent to me for review by a lovely fellow tarot reader and content creator here on YouTube. Her channel is Boho Mystic. Name is Marinelli. I will of course make sure to tag her channel down below. I invite you to go and check it out and send her some love. She kindly reached out to me to send me a couple of decks that she has created, first for her own personal use as a tarot reader, and then she realized maybe other readers would benefit from them, and I couldn't agree more because I've been using these non-stop and I think you guys are gonna really love them. We have the Charm Scripted Paper Charm, so created by Marinelli or Boho Mystic. Again, I'll make sure to leave everything down below. You can get these decks on her Etsy shop, which I'll make sure to leave down there. And the other deck she sent to me is Notes to Self, a Diviner's Vocabulary Oracle. Let's start with this, which is the one that I've been using the most of, as it's so great. So this is, like the name suggests, inspired by charms, but instead of having physical charms for charms casting, these are paper charms. We have 100 cards in here, and the reason behind the creation of this deck that Marinelli was explaining in one of her videos is that she loves to do charm casting, which I also love to do, but when you are traveling around, for example, it's really impractical to carry with you your set of charms, right? So she was looking for a way to be able to use her like practice of charm casting, but somehow make it more accessible, and that's where her idea for paper charms came from. So this, as you can see, is slightly smaller than stereotypical tarot size or plain card size, I would say. The here are the backs, the linen cardstock, so super easy to shuffle. It's actually a joy to shuffle, and on each of the card you're gonna see we have an image and some keywords which are inspired by charms. I actually have used it in my March reading on my other channel, The Waves of Your Soul readings, like March months ahead. If you haven't watched that, I invite you to go and check it out so you can see how I use this for casting charms, but in paper form. It read wonderfully for that. You to go and check it out. I'll leave it in the cards if you haven't seen it. I've been using it constantly for myself, and as I am gonna actually be traveling quite soon, which I'll tell you more about in a future video, this is absolutely gonna come with me because it's so practical, versatile, and easy to use. There's 100 cards, like I said, so ton of choices. All the images are inspired by Marinelli's own collection of charms, and she has given us lots of keywords to go off of, her own interpretations, but of course she also invites us to tag on our own interpretation of the charm, right? So if the camel makes you think of a specific memory because you visited Morocco in your life, for example, then definitely, obviously, follow your own intuition, right? Everyone can use their own association. That's the beauty of these decks. I love, first, the fact that we have so much choice. The fact that Marinelli's given us so many keywords to go off of, because a lot of the associations that she's chosen, I have the same ones, but sometimes she's given some association that I would have never thought of, and so that really opens up my mind and help me as a reader to get out of my comfort zone, which I love. Like I said, super easy to carry around, and something that I thought was really thoughtful is that she said that she had created this deck not just for ease, because, you know, when you are casting charms, like I said, when you're traveling around, not the most practical thing to take with you, but also for people who have sensory sensitivities to sound and touch. This is actually a great way to feel like you can incorporate charms casting into your reading without having to deal with the whole sensory issue, which I think is so wonderful, like making a practice, a divinatory practice, more accessible to people is such a wonderful, thoughtful gesture. So this is great. I've been loving it so much. We have lots of different cards, lots of different symbolism and objects and animals. One of those that you can do divination with, fortune telling, you can pair with tarot and oracle, you can do big spreads with, little spreads, like you can use this as a charm casting, but you can use this as an oracle deck, obviously. It's really good. I'm so glad and grateful that Marinelli sent this over. Thank you so much if you're watching, because I've been loving this so much and I was so excited to share it with you guys, as I know a lot of you will enjoy this as well. It's just really, really useful, versatile, practical. If you're a fellow reader like me, you want a deck that is giving you a ton of options to read with, something you can put in your handbag and carry with you. This is fantastic. The deck actually comes with a little note to readers, so it explains intention behind the deck, and you can really tell that Marinelli has created her decks for fellow readers. And I love that, because you can really tell that she comes from the point of view of like being a tarot reader, reading for so many people and thinking about, okay, what do my fellow tarot readers and like diviners would need to enhance their practice, right? You can really tell with both the decks she sent me that she has us fellow readers in mind when she creates these decks in terms of use, versatility, and I love that. That's the first one I wanted to share, the charm scripted paper charm. It's wonderful. The other deck that she sent my way is called Notes to Self Diviners Vocabulary Oracle Deck, again created by Boho Mystic. This time we have 65 cards, and this is really cool. Again, something unique, a deck for fellow readers, as this is a deck of words, right? Which is something we don't see a lot of, I think, and yet I love working with language. As you guys might know, English is, I mean, you can tell right from my big froggy accent, English is not my first language, but I love working with language in my readings. Language is so important. It's a key part of tarot reading anyway, because big part of tarot reading, it's in the word, right? Reading. If you don't understand the language, you cannot read, and you cannot also translate it to consultant or to the person who you're reading for. It's so important to have the right words to convey your messages, as each word can translate something different, and nuances are so important, and tarot reading is full of nuance. So I really love working with words in terms of divination and intuitive guidance. And so a deck like this that focuses on language, I think is also such a great tool, and I've been having such a good time with it. Again, you guys, I'm not sponsored, those decks were sent to me for review, but I always give you my full thought, and I'm really loving these two decks. I think these have been wonderful to add to my reading. So again, we have a note to readers, a little text from Marinelli, we have a little bit of a spread, which is great. Here are the backs, if I didn't share them with you. They are inspired by, I think, what you guys might have had in America and maybe in the UK. You guys had, I've seen those in like movies and stuff. Like, what do you call them? Gosh, my mind is blank. Honest, we didn't have those in France, but I've seen them in movies, so I know what this is inspired by, and I think it's really cool, this format. It gives that like scholarly kind of vibe, which I appreciate. Cue cards, right? Is that what you call it? Let me know in the comments. My mind is going blank. So for each of the cards, you have the main keyword here, expansion, and then you have some added titles, key phrases, keywords. So for expansion, we have lifelong student, pushing past biases, transcending the 3D, confident self-expression, and they are meant to be used as ways for readers to either expand their reading, maybe pull a card at the end of the reading, maybe seeing what the core of the reading is about, and just allowing us to have an added layer to our reading. And honestly, again, because a lot of these words I have my own association with, I loved getting to see other perspective on these, as sometimes I've thought, right, to associate a word with a certain key phrase. So for example, the empath saying like loss of emotional sovereignty and perspective, I think it's great because it shows the shadow side of the empath. And as someone for whom English is not my first language, having a deck like this is also helping me broaden my vocabulary, for which I'm so grateful for, as it's very important to me, again, to be able to have the right words to convey exactly what messages I'm getting from the cards when I'm reading for you or for someone else. Keywords chosen: Lightbringer, we have consideration, apathy, here we have for example, gardener. It's very unique. It feels both grounded and spiritual, this deck, which I really appreciate. I just love all the keywords that she's chosen. You can tell that this deck was channeled, right? Because, I don't know, it's like the way the keyword phrases are chosen, the way it's written, it feels very channeled. And I have been having a really good time, again, just putting a couple of cards in my reading to wrap up the reading, or also I've used this one in my own readings to start up with. So I'll just literally shuffle and pull one card, and then I'll create a spread around that. So here I have gracious. I love that. It says merciful or compassionate in nature to oneself and others, energetic beauty and kindness exuded to others. I would then create a spread around this idea of gracious. Maybe it's like, how can I bring more graciousness into my life? How can I call in more kindness in my life? Maybe how can I better show up for others? You know, there's so many ways you can use this, but as a kind of starting point or finishing point to your reading, it's been wonderful. And again, we have tons of choices, both light and shadow. This is truly, again, a deck for readers by a reader. You can tell it's meant to be a useful tool, a versatile tool, and I've had such a good time with it. So I wanted to again say thank you so much to Marinelli if she's watching, because this has been wonderful. If you guys like to work with language and words the way I like to as well, I think you would have a great time using this deck in your reading. It's so versatile, really useful, and quite unique. It's a suspension of ego and higher self incongruence, shadow and light integration, and acceptance. I love that. So cool. Last one, we have dreamer, visionary, manifestation crafter, and astral traveler. Beautiful. That is the notes to self. Definitely go and send Marinelli over at the Boho Mystic channel some love. Go and check out her Etsy store. She has created several decks, and go and send her some. Okay, let's move on. I still have 4 decks to share with you. One that I found randomly online, and then the other ones are a little order I put on Salon des Arcanes, which is a indie tarot shop based in France. Originally, I went for 1 deck and I left in my cart with 3. Don't know what happened. I was possessed by some spirit, but here we go. I've got no excuse, but I also have 0 regrets. So let's actually look at the decks I got from Salon des Arcanes. The deck I originally went to purchase from there, and that started this all, was this one, the Catopia Tarot. This is an indie deck by Scribblist. You guys might have seen in my latest haul, I had a deck from Scribblist, the Picturesque Tarot, which I've been loving, and this was out of print on the Scribblist Etsy shop, but Nicolas had it on pre-order on his website. I decided to originally order from him, and then I ended up seeing another couple of decks I wanted, which ended up being a larger order than I intended, but again, 0 regrets. So the Catopia Tarot is, as the name suggests, a cat deck. Did I need another cat deck in my collection? No, I don't even have a cat anymore in my life right now, but it was so cute, you guys, and I love it so much. It's very sweet. You're gonna see we have a full guidebook, really good. We have text that explains to you what's on the card. We have meaning for upward and reverse. Really good guidebook, definitely if you're a beginner. There's plenty here for you to get into. Again, did I need another cat deck considering I don't even own a cat at this moment in my life? No. But could I resist the adorableness and cuteness of this deck? Also no. This is the responsible card, okay? I remember seeing this card online and thinking, I need this in my life. So this is the one card that started it all. I just love how cozy and chill this little cat looks. And once I started to see more images of this cat deck, which is actually really heavily set in our modern day life. The cats go to work, they they go traveling, they cook, they eat at the restaurant. I was like, come on, This is adorable. I need it in my life. Please take my money. I have zero regret. This has been an absolute joy. This is my latest good mood deck. I'm obsessed, you guys, because unlike other cat decks that I have, which focus more on cats being cats and having cat-like attitude, the Catopia is cats playing at being humans, and I love that so much. Like I said, we have cats going to work, cats traveling, cats here on a swing, right? And there's just something so relatable, cute, and funny about this deck, which just puts the biggest smile on my face. Like, look at this CEO kitty. This kitty is running the world. He's like, I own 51% of the company. Honey, I love it. The tower is so great. For the strengths, look, we have on the gym trying to work out this day. It's brilliant. The cats all are adorable, and I just really love the idea of modern day deck without humans. Again, I know I've said it in the video earlier, but I'm kind of in a state right now where I am a little bit sick of humans. You know, humans suck right now in the world. So a deck that is fully rooted in day-to-day modern life, but replacing humans with cats, I mean, like, come on, you know, I kind of want to live there, to be honest. Looks like they're having a better time than we are having. Like, let's be real. I've actually been using this a lot for myself, and I've used it also for a career reading, literally yesterday for a friend. It was so good for a career reading. This is going to be wonderful to use for like pentacles reading, modern day kind of day-to-day readings, day-to-day matters, anything related to like I said, career, day-to-day things. It's so good because it's very, like, again, rooted in modern day. It makes me really happy. I think it's really smart. All the choices done, like Six of Swords is beautiful. Look, the Wheel of Fortune, they don't know what they're gonna get, right? It's all about chance, and you don't know which little gift you're gonna be getting. I love that. Two of Pentacles, multitasking, again, is working. There's a lot of work, like career kind of vibes in this deck, which is why it's been great for career reading as well. The Seven of Cups might be one of my favorite card of the deck. And look, here's a little mermaid kitty. Come on. What's not to love? This is genius, you guys. Look at the Knight of Swords. He's flying on. We have the Ace of Wands. They're camping. Queen of Pentacles. She looks like she's in a bed and breakfast, living her best life. The Seven of Wands. He's about to miss his train because he's so focused on his phone. Too relatable, right? Come on, it's genius. Nine of Swords, I love it because we have the insomnia with the idea of, like, you know, it's 1 o'clock in the morning at night. He's not sleeping, but we have shooting stars, so there's still hope there. It's a really sweet Nine of Swords, actually. It's more hopeful than other Nine of Swords I've seen for sure. Trying to get the thing, but it's always gonna fall down and you're not gonna manage to get it. Too real. We've all been there, trying to get the plushie, and the machine keeps dropping it, and you end up spending way too much money on it trying to get your plushie. Yep, that's the devil right there. It's genius, you guys. I really, really love it. It's my new good mood deck. The Four of Pentacles is so good. It's like, don't touch my popcorn. It's fun, it's cute, it's useful. The Just Kids card cracked me up. It's also really clever, which I appreciate. You know, it's not just cute. It's been giving me wonderful readings, so I wanted to share it with you. Do you guys have it? Let me know if you have it, what decks you like to pair it with. I haven't paired it with an oracle deck yet, but let me know if you have any ideas. But this has been making me so happy, just sharing it with you guys. I'm smiling so big. Once I was on the Salon des Arcanes shop to get the Catopia, I made the big mistake of browsing the website, and one thing leading to another, I ended up with another 2 decks in my cart. So let's talk about it. The other deck I picked up at the same time is the Heartscape Tarot, also by Scribblist. Can you tell there's a theme? I am really enjoying their decks. This actually had been on my wish list older. I think it came out like a couple of years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but it was always out of print. With this one, we have a certificate of authenticity. Again, great to have, because this is one of those decks and there's so many fakes out there. We have beautiful edging, shimmery and sparkly, and we have beautiful cloud backgrounds. It does not come with a physical guidebook, but there is a QR code that you can download the guidebook from. I haven't tried it out yet because you're going to see it's still in order. I've not actually used this one yet. I've been loving the Catopia so much that I've not given this one the time of day yet. I feel like I know this deck already because I've watched so many walkthroughs. It was on my wish list since it came out, which I'm pretty sure was a couple of years ago, and I remember seeing everyone getting their copy from Tevada, and I was so jealous, but Tevada's doesn't ship in Reunion Island, and so I was like, oh, one day maybe you will be mine. And it went out of stock for a really long time, so I just thought, it's just gonna be one of those that pass me by, it's okay. And then they decided to do another version of it recently, and I saw that Nicola had stock of it, and I was like, please take my money. So I'm super pumped to finally have it in my hands, and whilst I haven't used it yet, again, I feel like I kind of already know this deck because I've watched so many walkthroughs of it. I've seen my friends use it a lot on Instagram and stuff. This is one that I've seen a lot of pictures of. Whilst the picturesque is a lot more focused on nature and landscapes, like actual landscapes, this one feels a lot more whimsical and a little bit fantasy vibe, right? We have giant rabbits. I love this sun card. We have a corgi, and I love dogs. I love corgis, so this is gorgeous. Let's move on to Minor Arcana with a cup suit. Beautiful. This feels a lot more, I would say a little bit more whimsical than the picturesque tarot, but just as beautiful. Although I will say, I think this might have AI art, whereas the picturesque tarot is created by artists. I don't know, because there's no information on the box, and I've not heard many people talk about the actual, conception of the deck, but some of the images make me think it might be AI, whereas the picturesque tarot is hand-drawn, I'm pretty sure. If you guys know. But I really like the concepts behind the deck. I love the shape, and I had been seeing it for so long. Excited to finally have my own copy. I love this 4 of Sword, it's beautiful. Let's look at some more. 5 of Sword, also beautiful. 7 of Sword with foxes. We have 8 of Sword, 9 and 10. The 10 is quite powerful, I think. Really powerful. Pages. The Knight, beautiful. The Queen is gorgeous as well. And the King, I love it. And my favorite suit, usually the Wand suit, we have Candle, 2 of Wands, it's giving Narnia. 3 of Wands, Travel, I love that. The 4 of Wands, Cozy Cottage, I can dig that. 5 of Wands, yep, I love that. 6 of Wands, we have the 7, the 8 is beautiful. The 9, yeah, I see resilience here for sure. And the 10, burnt out candles. That's smart, I like that. And with the last court card, we have the Page, the Knight, the Queen is the Painter, and the King. Yeah, I love it. Beautiful. So that's the Heartscape Tarot. Again, let me know if you guys have this one, and what you like to pair it with, the readings you like to do with it. Let's chat in the comments. The last deck I got from Starlit Gleamings, which again wasn't originally why I went on the website for, but what actually had been on my wish list for years, was the Life is Like a Board Game Tarot. So thanks to this order I did, I actually scratched out a couple of decks that had been on my wish list. Here's an indie deck by Crystal Banner. I love Crystal Banner's art style and work. She is the creator of the Absolute Affirmations, which is a deck I use all the time in my readings, and this is an indie deck inspired by the Monopoly. This was released a while ago, like maybe 2020 originally, or 2021, and then it went out of print, and then she re-released it recently with an extended edition, which is this one. So in this one we have actually 100 card deck, as we've got 2 major arcana set, which is so cool. Her brand is called Kaleida Dope, so she's a creator of the Kaleida Dope Tarot, which is also on my wish list, which I'll get at some point, but I do have some restraints sometimes. So like I said, this had been on my wish list since it came out, and so it was a no-brainer when I saw that Nicola had copies of it that I finally picked it up. If you're familiar with Crystal's art style, you will recognize straight away her artwork because it's very modern, very relatable, straight, simple, to the point, and still always extremely smart. So for the majors, we have the set of 2 choices you're given, as well as key themes and tips. And then for the minors, you just have some keywords. I think this is genius. And the main reason why I wanted this deck is because I thought for, again, career reading, it would be so cool. The backs are very simple and plain. Not my favorite, but also I'm not mad at them. We have beautiful golden edges. And as I was saying, this is inspired by Monopoly. Minors look like this. We'll get into it, obviously. But if you've played Monopoly, you'll recognize the setup of the board. And in this particular edition, which is the edition that she's now releasing, we have 2 sets of majors. So let's actually look at the majors first. I've not looked at this deck properly, you guys, because like I said, I've had my order very recently. I've been using the Catopia a lot, but I thought this one we could discover together. So here are the 2 choices. Let's have a look. Obviously inspired by Monopoly, so you're going to see a lot of the objects you can use that on the board and part of the board game, but also a lot of things feel very modern, simple, minimalistic, but straight to the point. That's very much the brand of Crystal. All of her decks feel very relatable, smart, and straight shooter. I don't know if you guys have any other decks, let me know. I personally have her Absolute Affirmation. I've got the indie version, but it's now mass market and it's great. It's a set of affirmation that it feels, again, very relatable, very rooted in modern day. The Kaleida Dope Tarot that she has created is awesome. All her decks are cool, you guys. I think she's got a chakra one, which also seems really cool. She's a really cool creator. I really like what she does. And so I was so happy to be able to pick this one up. Honestly, so far, I'm liking some on both sides. So I might have to mix them together. I love that. This is good, but this is also very good. I probably would go with this, to be honest, to have a more of a wide one. The Tower, yeah, I think I'd like this one. The Star. Considering everything going on in Hollywood right now, this is probably the star card I would choose. This one, no thanks. Doesn't feel quite healing. The Moon, both are gorgeous, but I think I prefer this one. The Sun, I like both of those. They're cool. I'd probably go with the sunglasses. Judgment, I love this one. I think that's my favorite. And the World, they're both great. So it's going to be hard to choose. I'm going to have to figure it out. I'll probably mix and swap and change, but as you can see, really cool kind of concept. The minors are where you see the most kind of like ties to the board game, as we don't have any images, we just have color, we have the title of that tarot card, and we have a key phrase. So for cups, for example, Ace of Cups, it says overflowing emotion, please. Yeah, it's so good. Simple, straight to the point, and yet absolutely on point. That is Crystal's brand, and that's exactly what this is. 4 of Cups, not interested, place. I mean, come on. I think she's doing such a good job at narrowing down the essence of that card with a couple of keywords or a phrase. Option and illusion, place. Yep. Leave it all behind, place, for the 8 of Cups. Wishes come true, place, for the 9 of Cups. And happy fulfilled, place, with the 10 of Cups. The court cards are different colors than the minors, as you can see. So for the court cards here, for the cups, we have purple. For the Page of Cups is development of affection and creative energy. I love that. The Knight of Cups is messenger of romance. The Queen of Cups, supporter of compassion and intuitive feelings. And the King of Cups is provider of emotional support and maturity. Move on to Pentacles. For Pentacles, we have green, obviously. So you get the gist, right? It's inspiring itself from the Monopoly board and from the idea of like avenue and streets and roads, but instilling all the tarot essence of each arcana in it. Originally wanted this because one, it's super unique, super different. I'm trying at the moment to add decks to my collection, which are really unique and don't really compete with anything else because I have quite a large collection now. I like to always expand my knowledge or open my mind and step out of my comfort zone with decks that feel a little bit different outside of the box, which this definitely does. But I also thought this would be great for career reading, finance reading, because that's what the Monopoly is, right? It made capitalism fun. If you guys have played Monopoly, we can all relate that this is a kind of game that led to many family tension, and yet it is international, truly. I think everyone has played once in their life, probably. I feel like the Monopoly exists in most countries. It's probably one of the most popular board games ever, I think. And everyone has their favorite street, so if someone buys your street, you get super mad. As the memories. We're on the wands now. 5 of Wands, Conflict Gardens, 6 of Wands, Moments of Glory Gardens. Yeah, I think it's so good. I love how she's narrowed it down to the essence. We have Quick Communication for the 8 of Wands, Heavy Burdens. Yeah, Heavy Burdens Gardens. So good. Let's look at the court cards. Page of Wands, Development of News and Enthusiasm. We have Knight of Wands, Messenger of Acting First and Thinking Later. Queen of Wands, Support of Ambition and Business Success. And finally, King of Wands, Provider of Authority and Charm. So that is the Life is Like a Board Game Tarot. Let me know if you guys have this one, how you like to use it, what kind of readings you like to do with it. I'm going to be doing a career reading at some point soon on my other channel, and you can be sure you'll see this one in action. The last deck I wanted to share with you today, the last one is an indie deck that I found at random scrolling the internet at ungodly hours. Come on, we can all relate. Don't judge me, right? You listen and you don't judge. That's what this space is about. And you know what? I'm super happy I found this at random because it's gorgeous. It is the deck of Luminaries Tarot by Lumen. I actually found this on the Weird Works website, which is where I also bought a couple of years ago the Eldritch Overlord, which is one of my favorite decks. I really love this one that they've made. And so when I went on their website, I saw that they were stocking other decks, not just decks that they created, amongst them this one. This is created by a LA-based artist, I think. I'm pretty sure. And again, I'll make sure to leave where you can get this down below. I've never seen this one before. I only saw a couple of images and I was like, you know what? I need this in my life. I know I've said I'm kind of sick of humans, but when I see a beautiful, modern, diverse cast of humans in a deck, I can't help myself. If they look like humans that I want to be friends with, I'm okay with that. Okay, beautiful box, opens like this, clamshell, magnetic. We have a guidebook, which is great as each of the people presented have a name. So for example, for the Knight of Wands, it's Klaus, a teenager baseball player readies himself to bat at the plate. So all of the people presented, that the artist has given them names and a little story, which I think is great. And the reason why it's called a luminaries is because it says that a luminary is a person who inspires others, and to be luminary is to be a light-giving body like the sun or moon. It feels very appropriate with what's going on in the world right now. We need more people to shine their light. So I'm actually super pumped that I got this deck. It's a linen cardstock. They're quite busy, a little bit too busy for my liking. Really match the front of the card, so I can see why they decided on this design, because the color palette and everything really suits the front. This is again a deck I'd never seen anywhere. Took a little bit of a chance with this one, and I'm so happy I did because this is amazing. Another one I've been using non-stop recently, one that I can't wait to use for you guys on my readings channel. It feels modern, it feels relatable. There's a lot of diversity here. We have people that just feel like real people, right? People that you could be your friend. The color palette is mostly in these sunset tones of oranges, blues, and purple and pinks. I love it. All the people look very hot, which is also not a bad thing to look at. They all look very nice to look at, and it's just a joy. Look at this 8 of Pentacles. It's great. It feels like a TV show. Right? It feels like you're watching a TV show of people's life. I don't know, something very modern. The King of Pentacles, for example, is a beekeeper on top of a rooftop. I love that. 6 of Swords, we have someone taking the ferry. Beautiful. The art style is gorgeous, and look at the colors. I love the colors. When you put all the cards together, it's really stunning. I really appreciate the diversity in this one. We have a lot of people with different ethnicities, different ages. We don't have any disability presenting figures, I don't think. I think the art style is absolutely stunning. The pages are my favorite. They are all like, they look like they could be part of something like Stranger Things, right? They all look like a crew of friends, and they're really touching, I think, the pages. We'll try and find more. Let's see. Two of Cups is gorgeous. Come on, beautiful. Four of Cups, also beautiful. The Hierophant is a yoga teacher. Lovely. The Two of Pentacles, delivering food. Brilliant. The Queen of Swords is a tattoo artist. She's so badass. She's awesome. The Empress. Ooh, I love it. I'm normally not a fan of pregnant empresses, but this one I think is particularly gorgeous. I love her. Look, the Page of Wands. She's so cute. I love all the pages in this one. They're really, really sweet. I need to find more. Fool is gorgeous with his little dog. Of Pentacles, sharing cookies. The Sun. Really sweet. Knight of Swords. I love it. Very different to what we normally see. It's a more practical Knight of Swords, but I quite like to see them this way, I think. Because Knight of Swords are problem solvers as well, and sometimes we forget that. Five of Pentacles is more traditional, I would say. Look at this Page of Swords. Yeah, all the pages are wonderful. All the court cards in general are really cool. Again, it's giving Stranger Things for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm here for it. Wheel of Fortune, really cool. Six of Wands, Celebration, the Seven of Pentacles. This is such a cool deck, you guys. I'm so happy I discovered it by random. I'm having a good time reading with it for myself, and I can't wait to read with it for you as well. Over on my readings channel, let me know if you had seen it before, if you enjoy it. The colors are what really drew me in. I love it. It's giving like sunset like colors to me, and I don't know, there's something really appealing about this one. The world is lovely. Justice, you don't want to mess with her. The Knight of Wands is cool, about to play baseball. The Queen of Pentacles, she's a jeweler. The Queen of Cups is a scientist. I like it. Three of Wands is beautiful. And let's look at a few more cards. We have the Hermit. I love this Hermit. It's really peaceful. The Seven of Cups, also very relatable. Which one do you want? And last one, the Page of Cups. He's so cute. I really adore the pages in this one. Like, they're a group of friends, right? They're sweet. That's the last deck I wanted to share with you guys today, the deck of luminaries. So it kind of feels like a hidden gem, to be honest, and so I'm happy to present it to you guys, as I've really been enjoying working with it. I'm gonna leave it here as I'm starting to really flare up, but I hope you enjoyed seeing my new decks. I hope you're all taking good care of yourself. I will chat with you in the comments. Till my next video, I'm sending you so much good vibes, and keep navigating the webs of your soul. Bye!